Welcome to Taste to Explore. My name is Darlene, and on this episode I bring to you a classic Puerto Rican dish. We are making steak with onions. Oh my God, it's going to be so delicious when I tell you. So stick around. The ingredients are simple, and let's get right to it. Using ground round steak that is already thin. It comes like this in the supermarkets, so I didn't have to even cut it. I'm using here 2 medium purple onions, red onions, I call it purple onions. We have here 3 tablespoons of fresh sour orange. You can substitute it for vinegar if you want. I have 4 cloves of fresh garlic. I have adobo to taste, because you know that's pretty salty by itself. Then over here I have half a teaspoon of cumin, pepper to taste, and 2 teaspoons of oregano, and of course a packet of sazon, and some corn oil that's warming up on the pan. And that's it. So simple, so easy. Now let's start. So let's start seasoning the meat. I'm gonna start with my adobo. You can do it at any style you want. You can season it with whatever ingredients you have on hand. Okay, love me some fresh garlic. You can substitute it for store brand garlic. I really wouldn't do that because I don't feel like you get the proper taste. You know, it's processed. Or you can use powder garlic. Then I'm gonna be using my favorite ingredient, and that is the sour orange. If you don't have any, no problem, you don't have to use it. It just gives it, you know, additional flavor. Vinegar will work well as too, but or you can just leave it out totally. Now, with a cook's best tools, I'm going to use some clean hands and mix it all up. Finish seasoning and mixing everything together. I do prefer to use my hands with this because I want every nook and cranny to get filled in with the seasonings and just like massage the meat through. To me, I believe it brings a better flavor when you're actually massaging your meat through. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let this marinate for half an hour. You can use it right away, but you know it's always best to let it marinate. You can make this a day before if you want and let it marinate overnight in the refrigerator. That will work perfect too. So now I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to tell you what to do next with, you know, how we cook it. So stick around. It's been a half an hour, and now I had let my meat sit out in the counter for 10 minutes because I don't want it to be too cold when I fry your meat. When you saute your meat, don't let your meat be so cold because it seizes up and it makes the meat tough. You want it to be relaxed and let it be room temperature, maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes after you take it out the refrigerator, and that way it'll have a better cook. It'll cook better and with a better temperature. You know what I mean? So you don't want to shock your meat, in other words. So we're going to put some onions in first, and to me, steak and onions are like the best mixture ever. They provide so much flavor. And this is what I do. I have my heat on medium low. I am not trying to fry them. What I'm trying to do is allow the onions just to marinate a little bit in the oil. I want it just to get soft, not crispy, not, you know, not much of and this is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to place the steaks on top of the onions. They're going to cook well. This will provide lots of flavor. And you know, in my other recipes, I always tell you, don't crowd your pan. This one you do, because it's going to steam. And as it steams, it loosens up the steak, so it is not hard when you're cooking it. This is how you make nice soft steaks, similar to when you're eating it in a restaurant. So you're gonna you're gonna crowd your pan. You're gonna place some nice onions in it, and it's gonna give it so much flavor. And you're gonna let this cook on medium low, and let it cook and take its time. And I'm gonna show you what to do next. So we're gonna let this cook like this for about 10 minutes before we flip it. I'm gonna shut off my pan and allow them to cook. I know I told you earlier 10 minutes, but you're gonna have to see how the heat is. I told you before it has to be a medium low because it needs to simmer together. I had way more. This is the last batch, and I had 2 left. And I flipped them about 12 minutes or so. So make sure that you don't you don't cook it on high, and you cook it on medium low. And then I have the little leftover onions that I had cooked along with it. So I'm just gonna arrange them right here. So delicious. These from over here. Okay. Let me cut it in half. I want some onion with that too. Ooh. Ooh. Change to this side. Grab some onion. And I can grab it. And then taste test. It's a little bit hot. Delicious, guys. So much flavor. Tender, and the onions go so perfectly hand in hand. You gotta try it. It's absolutely a delish dish that you're gonna love. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. It is always a pleasure in bringing you recipes and teaching you on what I know how to do. And I hope you give this a try. Let me remind you that every Hispanic household have their own way of doing things. And this is my way. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.